Hi Collective, welcome to the channel, Cosmic Divine Seeker. Hi everyone. So this is going to be a morning reading that I'm doing for all of you. So I feel so good this morning and so inspired. I woke up to some amazing content that I found. It makes me so happy to see the rays of vibration. People... really the chosen's what I've really been guided to, but it's really getting illuminated. It's like me being an energy reader, like I can see the energy, I can feel the energy, and it's really beautiful to see the leaders of just standing into their power, the chosen really standing up. It's like there's definitely been a major leveling up. You could be noticing this actually too. Seeing people in different light. It's like people are going to be having that glow about them. Yeah, the masks are being revealed too. They're just, the Seven of Swords fell right off the deck, which is interesting because it's like, as you're starting to see the glow, the leveling up of people around you, you're starting to see the false masks too. You know, so you're starting to see people. It's like, really, it's like, I wanted to keep looking at this. I haven't used this deck in a little while. I'm like, is this really the Seven of, like, it can't be, like, it's just crazy. It is though. It's Seven of Swords. Because I'm only seeing 3 swords in this card. Not showing all 7 that it normally does. So you've been dealing with somebody very, very deceptive, really sneaky. It's one of those, like, they're really good. I'm getting like on poker, you know, those people that are very good at disclosing their hand and having the poker face or whatever. And it's one of those, it's like even when they win or something like that, you're still like, nah, they didn't. Just like, you have to like look at their cards, almost see everything. That's what I'm getting here. Somebody's just, yeah. And part of it's because they're heavily watching you. That's why. It's like they're very, very good at cloaking their energy. They're very, very good at disguising. Just, they're like, it's like, I feel they've been doing this for a while, so they're very, very good at doing it. And it's almost going to have you, like, in just disbelief that they were able to fool you, right? You're really going to be getting shocked, I think, by some of these things that are revealed to you. I don't know why I'm getting, for some of you, you could have thought that some of your enemies, okay, or people that you thought were not for you, you could actually be seeing them in a different light because they could have been under spiritual attack. They could have been heavily being manipulated by dark forces, and if they're no longer in them, that's why they could look differently to you. Or the enemy could have been having you, corrupting your vision, having you see something in a different way. That's what I mean. I'm getting it in like 2 angles, both ways. 2 different messages. It's like for some of you, you're going to be realizing that people have really been cloaking their energy and are really, really dark and, you know, not for you. And some of you are going to be realizing like, wow, I was reading them all wrong, right? Because some people have been painting illusions. It's like if you have dark energies that are around you, you know, they come to destroy. So they could be coming to destroy and push people out of your life and cause mayhem and all of this stuff. So, you know, they paint illusions and things like that. So that could literally be happening. So you really have to trust what you're feeling at this time. Is what I'm getting at, right? Really trust your intuition. Okay, so there's a lot of things. Trust what you're feeling. A lot of you are getting like heightened psychic abilities and gifts. I was getting some of you, like your astral projection could really be on point too. You could be doing a lot of that and realizing that you're seeing things in different ways. All right, but just a lot of you are getting things revealed to you at this time. And it's really shocking and surprising you, I'm getting. So, all right, anyway. They wanted me to talk about a little bit of that. So, I was just getting wowed this morning. I love telling the universe, wow me. You know, surprise me. Some of you are going to be getting surprised with something because that just came out. I don't know why I started talking about that. There's so many swords coming out. Just so far, I've only pulled swords. Well, I didn't even show you, but we just had the Page of Swords, the Seven of Swords. Now here's 2 more swords. We've got the 3 of Swords and the 6 of Swords. Right? So, or no, the 4. Yeah, it looked like the healing. For some of you, for me to say 6 of Swords, ooh, 5 of Swords is right here. Look at all these swords. For some of you, a movement's going to be happening here for me to say 6 of Swords. So far, we've had 5 cards and they're all swords. That's all I've seen so far. What's interesting is we've got the 3 of Swords with the 4 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. Do you see that? 3, 4, 5. But see, it was like the 5 was here on the bottom. So things are happening in order. It's like first you have to have your heart broken to heal. But then 5 of Swords, this is where I feel the energy that you're in now. Because it's like you've already, I feel, have had this heartbreak and have been healing. So the enemy is sending more your way. All right, or you're being made aware of who has been battling against you. Because sometimes in the 5 of Swords, like you'll see a defeat. Okay, and it's like once the fight's over, and then you see who's been battling against you, right? But we've got the owl on this 5 of Swords, you know, and that's about like getting the enlightenment and the clarity. Like I said, for some of you, you're realizing who you are really battling with, who is really doing spiritual warfare. A lot of the spiritual warfare against you is silent. It's a lot of these things where it's like people like throw rocks and hide, you know. And for some of you, it's like your own family members could have been subjected to shape-shifting energy where demonic forces were using them against you. That's why I said for some of you, like maybe if some of there's been enlightenment and awakening, maybe some people have came out of these toxic patterns and cycles and they can't be used by the enemy anymore. So maybe that's why you're seeing them in a new light. For others of you, like you're realizing literally that your closest people to you have been being used against you by the enemy, causing spiritual warfare. So, like I said, that's why it's happening in phases, but it's part of your healing too. Because it's like, maybe for some of you, you've been putting the blame on the wrong people and now realizing like, wow, it was really my lover that was doing all of this and making me see my friends or other family members in a different light. But no, it was really them. See what I mean? No, that's just one scenario, right? Take whatever you feel is for you. That's why you have to trust what you feel, because the enemy can mess with illusions and what you see, right? So trust what you're feeling, but I really feel you're getting some things revealed. And it's part of the healing too. And it allows you to let go of some of this heartbreak too that they've done, for you to realize that, wow, like that wasn't even really them. That was the entity that was embodying them because they were so broken that was causing this hurt on me. Because I'm getting for some of you, like, you know, it's going to help you have some forgiveness to realize that it's not like this family member, this friend, whatever this was just singling you out because it didn't like you and wanted to destroy you. It was literally they were being used by the enemy and dark forces because they were so broken that they were easily getting, you know, being controlled, like puppeteered by demonic forces to come against you. So it's going to allow you to forgive some of them, to realize like, wow, that wasn't them, right? Okay. So see, that's coming out very strong. Let's get some other messages. Now we've got a Knight of Coins. So, okay, look, now we coming out of the swords, right? I feel like that's what's been going on. Yeah. And it's like you're getting pulled out. Look, she's even holding up her swords, right? Somebody wants out of a stuck situation. And I feel that this is what you were stuck in. You were stuck in with all of these swords, right? And she's got her hands up like, no more, no more. No more, please. But see, you got to get yourself out of that. You've got to let go of these thoughts, right? Swords represent thoughts and words and communication and things like that. It's like if you constantly are arguing with somebody or, you know, texting or whatever, or back and forth with negative stuff, like that's you carrying it on and entertaining this dark energies. Like they love that. I learned that a long time ago. Like I just walk away from people when they're like that. Why do I want to stay in that negative and just keep going? Like, no. That's where I learned to set my ego aside. I don't need to keep arguing and win my point across. I don't care if I'm being accused of like somebody saying that I lied or I stole something. No, I don't need to fight my truth. I know better than that. Karma will reveal itself. If you feel that way, all right. You want to talk trash about me? You want to say all these things? You know what? The scale's going to tip far more greater for me when the truth is revealed. And all of the illusions that were said or whatever, like, you know, when you start to realize that all that's going to come back to you for you taking the higher road and for you walking away gracefully, yeah. It's one of those, like, if somebody, you know, like, it gets made right to, right? That's just where you trust in karma. The truth will always be revealed. I don't need to sit here and waste my time and my energy to fight, to be right, to be the one. No. So, like the smartest person in the room is often the quietest person. Like in a fight, the person that has the self-control to stand there and not let somebody's words and actions cause them to act out irrationally and violently, they're the smartest person. You know, like, I'm far more attracted to a man that can stand there and be calm and cool and collected than a man that's going to act out and show force by getting into a fight. To me, men that have to get into physical fights are so immature and ridiculous. Like, no, you need to grow up. That's what I mean. Like, it's just, no, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. And how strong you are. Although weakness is when you have to act out. Like, that's what I'm trying to teach my boys right now. Like, they'll act out if somebody flips them off or calls something out. I'm like, do you not realize how much weakness you're showing right now? The fact that somebody can just make a gesture or say a word and it causes you to react and to be unstable. Like, no. Like, no, we need to, so... And I get it, all, you know, it's harder for children, right? Because they got all that adrenaline running through them, the hormones, and their levels are off. And, you know, they are having to learn how to control that, now that aggressiveness. And then they're growing up and they're starting, you know, to be young men. So, yeah, that's when they're going to be getting into fights and things like that. I get that, but they're learning. So when a grown man is getting into fights, like, yeah, you haven't grown up. You haven't learned how to control yourself. You need to work on your damn self. So any of my guys, you watch this, I'm calling you out. You need to work on yourself if you want to get, you know, real respect and to get, you know, just, I'm going to leave it there. I'm sorry if I upset anybody, but, you know, that's the message they wanted me to come across with today. Wow. All right. So there's that. Okay. Somebody needed to hear that. I don't know. I'm getting more. It's because, you know, I feel like I get a lot of healers on here. So if you're one where maybe I'm getting this, that there's some masculine watching me or something that feels as though they don't do enough because, you know, you're so humble that you feel as though, you know, maybe when I see somebody like being aggressive and like I should jump in and take shit, like, it's different, like, if you have to defend yourself. Don't get me wrong. Like, if somebody's coming at you, like, jumps you, attacks you, then, you know, and you have to defend yourself, then that's what you have your shadow side and side for. You know, so if you have to defend yourself, like, don't just go get beat up, you know what I mean? Like, as I teach my boys, too, like, I taught them early on, somebody comes at you fighting, defend yourself. You know, like, it was one of the first suspensions my son got. He kept getting bullied or whatever, and they kept pushing him and stuff, and kid came, pushed my kid, he flipped him over a desk, you know, and that was the end of it. He put him down, and I didn't punish him for that. No. I was like, well, you know, now you're suspended, so, you know, you lost your electronics because, you know, you did something or whatever to have the kid come at you, you know, but still, you know, I know I probably said something, but, you know, at the same time, like, and even he's like, Mom, if I didn't flip that kid over, then I would have had multiple people coming at me to fight me. Wouldn't have stopped. So, like, I get that, you know, he attacked, he had, you know, but it's one of those, like, just don't go, you know. I'm like, but now you need to be able to not let those things get you into fights, so control your words, whatever, so. So that's a big focus on my mind, too, because I'm working on getting my kid back in the, you know, he was expelled last year, and we're getting him back in school this year. Because, yeah, I'm not for the school. That's why my children go in and out, homeschool, regular school, because I like to teach them how the world really works. You know, the schools are for the 3D world, but you need that social, you know, they you know, children need to be around other children too, and I go back and forth with it, because it's like, I don't want them to feel as though, you know, I mean, I would love it if they would just be all mystical like me, but they're still learning, right? So I want them to have that normal, feel normal, whatever, have those experiences, and be able to go to school, because it's like, you know, I thought I could do all of it, whatever, but it's like, I need more help, you know. I can do PE and do sports and music and band and choir and just all of those things, and the clubs and the interactive, and it's just, so I'm feeling for some of you, maybe if you're undecided about your kids, like, maybe try that, because I've gone back and forth ever since elementary, middle, and now I got 2 in high school, where we do homeschool. Some years pull out and go back into school, because they're so epic how they work with you and let you place your kids in and out, whatever. And it's like, my kids are more equipped for school too. They go there like, Mom, I've already learned everything. I know everything. Because my children learn very fast like me, and school's kind of slow paced, because, you know, they got to keep it that way, because they're teaching 30 or more people at one time instead of, you know, a few. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going on about school. So, oh, because I told you I'm working on getting my kid back in the school system this year. So we're going to try again. Yeah. Oh, I was talking about that. Learning how to temperance out your energy. Defending yourself, you know. Learning how it's far more powerful when you can hold back. Not have to prove yourself. That's all ego, when you have to prove to be right. Oh my God, people can't see you as being a liar. Like, I get it, you know. But yeah. So, all right, wow, this is carrying away at me. Okay, let me go back to the cards that I pulled here. So, yeah, High Priestess, strong intuition, heightened abilities, secrets being revealed. I'm getting like a lot, but a lot of it's going to be intuitively. Like, you're going to be seeing things differently. Like, oh, I get it. It's like realizing things. You're going to be seeing interworkings of things. For some of you, you're going to realize that you've been astral projecting and not aware of what it is. It's a side note for somebody. So you might want to look up astral projection. I've got the 4 of Cups here. Some sort of missed opportunity could be coming back around, or you're realizing, in fact, that it wasn't a missed opportunity. You're being protected from it. And it could be coming back in very fast. Knight of Swords. You might realize that you pushed it away, or you didn't acknowledge it for some reason. It could have to do with seeing things in a new light. This is 6 of Coins. Yeah, fairness is coming in. Queen of Coins. 9 of Coins. Look at them. Now we get a lot of Pentacles here. Ooh. There's a Tower on the bottom. This is 8 of Swords. Death wanted to come out reversed for the 10 of Cups to come out. What? Somebody's being realigned. Oh, I brought my phone out there. Let me see. I don't even know if I'm hooked to the internet right now. My laptop goes offline a lot. Alright, yeah, I was going to look it up. hold on, let me sync it. I want to look it up anyways. Because I don't like to get the reversals wrong. Working with them, I might delay now because they hooked back to the internet. Hold on. Because sometimes they're can be very significantly different. Something I've learned looking at like the reversals in a lot of the books. Because I'm an intuitive reader, so I go off of what I feel. But sometimes, because I pick up things in multiple angles, I can mix up the reversal. And if that made sense, like some readers will use reversals, others won't, and like I get it, but some people also, they don't read multiple angles, they'll read one storyline. I read whatever I feel. I don't always get entire multiple storylines. Like I can't just do a reading and it'd be like 3 different people's full stories. You know, but I just take it however source has me do it. You know, sometimes if I feel multiple ways to take a certain series of cards, then I explain it, even if it's aside from what I was been previously shown. So sometimes when I get the reversals and I'm like already going off of like 2 different storylines, that is where I don't want to explain the reversal for the wrong one. I hope that made sense, because I feel that I'm leading the way for some of you, to show you, to teach you, because I'm a spiritual teacher, right? All right, so somebody's going to understand that if you work with reversals, or maybe it just made sense to you. Like, if I've ever been, like, telling you a story, and you're like, yeah, that's what's going on, and then run into a reversal, and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense, because that didn't happen. It could be for the other storyline, it's not for you, right? All right, I'm going to leave it there. So, the reverse of the death can mean that you're on the verge of a meaningful change, but are resisting it. You may be reluctant to let it go, or you may not. Okay, so that's why I like to look it up. Because see, I would have said you're going against a new beginning, but see, it's falling underneath the High Priestess here, and it's leading me back to that where it's like, remember how I showed you the Seven of Swords, but I didn't want to see the Seven of Swords. It's like, for some of you, like, you don't want to accept that someone's been lying, deceiving you. It's like realizing somebody's like a secret enemy. All right? It's like you're just not wanting to accept it. You're just like, no. Like, in disbelief, right? But this has to do with your family, what they're showing you. And leading you to happily ever. It's like, for some of you, you're realizing that some family members were against you, and you're like, well, I don't want to leave them behind. Their family. Like, no. Well, unfortunately, you know, a lot of our family members go through karma too, and go through, you know, loss and heartbreak and things like that. And some people can't heal from those things. Even though Earth here is school and we're all learning, like, we learn at our own pace, and we have to forgive. And when you don't forgive something and you don't heal something, your heart can turn dark, and then you're used for dark forces. It's just like, and you got to let them go. It's just like my mother. Like, and it's like, because she didn't heal herself from her childhood wounds, she went through life feeling as though she wasn't lovable. She went through life feeling as though she wasn't a good mother. You know, so it made her even more and more dark and angry, and closed off to love. And then she looks back at her life and just has all of this anger, you know, and she thinks that there's something wrong with her. The only thing that's wrong with her is that she won't love herself. That's it. She needs to love herself and know that she's creating all of her own demons and dark energy, because you conjure up demons by dark energy that you feel inside. So you sabotage yourself. If you're a person that's projecting darkness outwardly, that's all you're going to see and feel. You're constantly going to have, you know, things breaking and losing things, and you're going to be guided towards trauma, and like, you're going to be in this mindset like, I don't have enough, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough money, so you're not going to have enough money. You know, just like, don't always say that all these bad things happen. Then they will, because we're in a world of laws of attraction, a world of law of attraction. How what you feel inside is a reflection on the outside. And it's like somebody could be showing you all the love in the world, but your eyes see is a reflection of how your mind is and what you feel. It's just like in the mirror. These people that get shamed and all of that. They could be the skinniest person, but if somebody's like, you're fat, they're going to look in the mirror and they're just going to see fat because they're going to see what they feel about themselves. So that's why, therapy is real, can really help you rewire your brain, right? And talking to people, getting different perceptions, because a lot of times we go to the same people, our family and our friends and things like that. So you need an outsider's point of view, Sometimes you got to talk things out, because sometimes just talking them out to somebody, you hear what you're saying and then you start to believe it. And they often get you to talk about yourself in a positive way, and they teach you coping mechanisms. And a lot of us forget to breathe, right? And a lot of times you just got to talk your emotions to get them out of your body to calm yourself down, right? You don't need to go on a bunch of medication. Oh, I'm severely depressed. Oh, no, I need to take these antidepressants to heal my mind. No, that's suppressing the damn emotions for you to keep them in your body and to keep you stuck and to make you conform to this 3D matrix of control and money and all of that. Don't get me started. I'm going to leave that alone. All right. No. You can heal yourself from PTSD. I did. I healed myself. Well, that's why I come into alignment with a lot of people where I try to teach them how to, me being the shaman too, I try to heal people's chakras. And a lot of times you can't calm down because you've got trauma within your chakras. And it's a process. You need to clear out the trauma. You need to get them out of your chakras by starting to feel it. Then you got to get it out of your emotional body. Then you got to release it. Then you got to retrain it, rewire your brain. Like, it's a process, but it can be done. I've done it to myself. So, well, then I lost where I was going with this. It happens sometimes. Okay, I was talking about the 10 of Cups. Oh yeah, I was talking about my mother, right? But you know what I mean is that as much as I love my mother, it's one of those for my self-health. Like, I had to pull myself away. I had to let her go. She's got to sit with herself and realize it takes people hitting rock bottom and breaking open to realize that they need to go, they need to love themselves, they need to live life for themselves. Because a lot of times people won't face their own trauma and their own pain, and they'll live life through other people. And they steal other people's happiness and joy, or they bring it down because they're envious of it, and they're bringing demons their way, and they don't realize that because you have dark energy in you when you're envious. You're not supposed to be envious of people because you can have everything. You're being shown what you can have. You got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. The people that have beautiful lives is because they're beautiful people. You don't have a beautiful life if you're not a beautiful person. Why are you jealous and envious of that? If you don't have a beautiful life, it's because you're not beautiful inside. And it doesn't mean you can't heal that. It means you need to heal that so you stop letting the devil in. So you need to heal whatever's wrong with you so you can have that too. And that's what us healers are here. We're here to show you how to do that. But you have to do that yourself. And a lot of it is you have to rewire your brain from the first 7 years of your life. And that's why childhood is so important. But a lot of these woundings, you need to stop thinking that they happen to you. They happen for you. And it's also one of the biggest lessons here, because you got to forgive. That's what it's about, right? You're not supposed to hold hate in your heart. Who are you to hold hate in your heart? You can't. No. You don't think that the divine's going to make things right if you had injustices happen. And I know. Just like I had a very traumatizing and challenging childhood, but am I sitting here bitter and dark because of it? No, I healed myself, and I had a lot of PTSD from it. I had abandonment issues. I didn't know how to love. I felt so unloved, but I didn't hold that against my parents, that they didn't know how to show me love, I'm not mad they didn't hug me enough and kiss me enough. I was for many years. But it was because they didn't know how. They weren't loved the right way. And so they didn't know how to show love. And I know that then poured out to my kids. They showed me love in other ways, buying me things. They thought everybody's love language is different too. But it's like I could buy my kids everything, throw them these epic parties, you know, and it's something I learned with my daughter is just because I didn't know how to grab her every day and hug her and say I love you, and you know, some autism a little bit too, like anyway, but working through those things, autism is really just a way to label people a lot of times where their minds are, you know, work differently, process things differently, as I'm a star seed, you know, so, you know, anyways, this could go so many different ways. Save it for another reading. A lot of times I get like, tell me about this. I'm like, okay, source, like, I can only go so much, right? I'm 30 minutes in too, so I'm probably going to call this reading. I'll do some other ones. 30. If you like my style, my content, definitely subscribe. You get lots of other stuff that come out within the readings, right? Far more than the cards, as we use the cards just really as guidance to show you the energy, because I could literally just do readings with no cards whatsoever, but it helps show you guys, and it keeps me on point because I can go away and channel. And like, I didn't even get the final card. Like, I stopped literally on my 8 cards here, or 9. I went up to 10. That's right. I feel that there's a lot of closing out of cycles. I guess I really took this as my outcome, because I was talking a lot about family, right? Let me go back to that. Where I was talking a lot about my mother, because it was like I realized that my mother was sabotaging a lot of my life because I was always involving her in everything, and she kept bringing dark energy around, not realizing it. So, you know, yeah, you gotta sometimes walk away from these people, and it doesn't mean forever, but you gotta at least, you know, protect yourself. It's one of these, like, say you have a toxic, what had just happened? Okay, hopefully I didn't click my camera. Because sometimes, like, say you have a parent that you always go to validation for. So anytime you have something exciting going on in your life, or you're planning family vacation or whatever it is, and you always go to your parent and you tell them about it, and they're not really happy for you, they could say these things or make you feel as though you can't be happy about it, and it's slowly stealing your joy, your love, or whatever, and they're not meaning to do it. It's kind of like them being like a Debbie Downer or a negative Nathan. Sorry if you're Debbie or Nathan, those are just the names, right? Associated with those. But it's just, you know, they're not even realizing it. It's just their mind has been so wired to always see things negatively because they've been in such a negative mindset that they got to rewire their brain. So it's really like they can't help it. But like I said, it's not your fault. It's not just because you're family, you're their daughter, it's just your parents, whatever, you're the son. It doesn't mean that's for you to fix them, right? And that's something I really challenged with a lot, me knowing that I was a healer, right? Because I wanted to save my parents so well. But they had to save themselves, right? And by me pulling back my energy and not being a part of their life, then they can realize, you know, like, then they can realize that, wow, I don't have my son, my daughter in my life. Like, I need to fix myself and get right so I can have my kid back. And I get it. Like, it's hard, especially like with my dad. Like, you know, last couple of years, like, I was really trying to put through 333 as they say that, 3300. Really, as I say that, like, I really pulled myself back, and like, I missed his last birthday because I had my youngest daughter, and I really just didn't want her around any toxicity because I had already had my other children around them when they were toxic, and it was pouring out into my kids. So when I had my youngest, my rainbow, my diamond, I was like, I knew that I'm not supposed to have her around toxicity, and I never even had her around arguments or anybody being loud or anything, like her first year of life. So it was really like, and my parents very toxic, right? Very karmic for each other. And I didn't want to bring them around, so I missed my dad's birthday. And it was his only birthday I'd ever missed, and it was his last birthday. You know, and it, you know, I lost him just a couple years ago, right? And it took me a long time to get over that, you know, but, you know, I know now that I was making the right decisions for my daughter or whatever, and I know that it can be hard. You know, maybe I'm here to tell you that, but it's like, you have to know that you have to do what's right for you. You know, and if it's, you know, even maybe you've done something like that. Maybe this is for me to explain to some of you. Like, maybe you just felt as though, like, I have to stay away from my parents or my siblings or whatever. And if you've lost somebody, like, you gotta not let that hold you back. You were doing what was right for you. You had that feeling that you were feeling drained or sad or depressed. And that's really what this is about. You have to live life for you. You know, you really do. It's for your own self-help. And, you know, it's like, I know that I was in the right mindset. You know, you've got to pull yourself away from toxic people, even if it is family. And I know that can be the hardest thing to do. So some of you could be getting the realization of that, you know? So, I don't know. Anyways, there's that. So, 2 of Cups is on the bottom here with 5 of Swords. For some of you, you could be realizing that it's a lover. And you could be realizing that you're with a karmic lover. You know, some of you, this could have been like a past life lover where you were married in a past life. So this could be like a spiritual spouse from another life. That's why you could have this strong connection and you feel that you're very like dedicated to them. Like you feel like you have to be theirs because you feel that commitment and that bond so strong. That's because they were a lover in a past life, but they were karmic. Like I said, it's just like my parents, like they loved each other very much and they had a love-hate relationship and they destroyed my childhood. They destroyed my brothers. They destroyed their families. Their families didn't want them together, so I grew up not having any of my family there other than my parents' destructiveness. And, you know, they turned to drugs and alcohol. So, you know, I'm the product of a drug addict and an alcoholic. And, you know, I've had to raise my kids not having any family other than me while healing myself and all of that. And, you know, like, I know I'm here to break the patterns, right? And what I'm getting at is that I even tried, you know, in my adult life, like, to separate my parents because I've been through so much. Like, I've saved both my parents' lives from, you know, them trying to commit suicide, to vapor acting both of my parents, to being in charge of them, to getting both of my parents out of jail, having to go back and forth with all of this. And, you know, it's been a lot on me, right? And it's like, if they just would have separated, they could have lived beautiful lives, right? But it's like they felt so bonded to each other because I feel that they were karmic lovers. And it's like, if they would have just separated from themselves and completed these contracts and go into their happily life, like, it'd have been so different, right? It's like, so they're going to be coming back, right? Because they created karma. They didn't learn their lessons. So when they come back, it's the same thing. You have these karmic lessons often with the same people from previous lives. So it's like they're going to come back again. And they're probably going to come in contact again with each other. And they're going to have to learn to separate. And that's what you may be learning that you have to do. You don't know how many go-arounds you've had with this karmic. Maybe just one. Hopefully just one. But maybe in this lifetime, you're supposed to separate. You're supposed to realize that this lover that you feel so bound to. Like, I really wish that my parents could have just separated when I was younger and not been so destructive. It really pours out into people. And it's like, I tried to get away from it. When I'd had my first daughter, I took off. I left the state when she was 6 weeks to get away from my parents. She was 6 weeks old, and I took off across the country, just me and her, to get as far away as I could. But they followed me. They followed me, and they drugged me through so much trauma while I was then being a single mom trying to raise my kids. And 3 of my kids are subjected to it. And I went in and out of pulling them out because it's like, it's all they had. It was just me and toxic grandma and toxic grandpa. So I would try to bring them around. And I finally got to where I was like, enough is enough. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I got to get you away from them. And that's why I was like, I didn't trust anybody with my kids. I quit my jobs. I was working 3 jobs to support my kids on my own. And I thought I was doing so well, but my kids were missing me too much. And then there was, you know, they were just, it was so much so. Then I went down other paths, right? But anyways, like, because of all of that, like, it was affecting, I had to heal myself. Wow, I'm really getting deep in this, and my leg fell asleep. So what I'm getting at is like, I wish that they could have done this work themselves and that they could have just separated, and it would have been far more. So don't stay just because you have kids, dear God. Like, no, like the best times that I remember having ever in my life with my father were the times that my mother was off running around with boyfriends and staying in her friends' houses when my dad was by himself. Because then I was there every day visiting him. Those were the best times and the times that he was the happiest. And it's not that because he didn't, or that he was away from my mother. It was just because he knew he loved her. He knew she'd be back. But, you know, it was like he could love her at afar, but not be around her toxic, broken behavior. So sometimes, you know, if you can get away from people and heal yourself and come back together, then that can happen, right? Whatever. But it's like I do say that karmics can be together if you can heal your karma, but most people can't heal them together. And sometimes you just have to love people from afar to not create all of this toxicity. So, I don't know. This is helpful for somebody. If this wasn't your story or whatever, don't worry about it. Don't claim this part of the reading then. But it's for somebody. Anyways, love and light to all of you. Bye, guys. Check out more of my readings. Bye.